another installment of the United Way's Community Impact Series. My name is Katie Gallagher and I'm the marketing specialist at the United Way of the Lewis and Clark area. With me today we have Paula Sams. Welcome, Paula.
Thank you for having me.
And Paula is with the Lewis and Clark County Child Advocacy Center. So it's a program of the organization or the nonprofit AWARE.
Right.
Can you share a little bit about what AWARE does in the community as well as what the Child Advocacy Center does?
Sure. AWARE is a statewide mental health agency that has services for both adults and kids that have intellectual disabilities as well as mental health issues. So we have outpatient clinics all over the state. We have group homes. We have the Center for Excellence down in Anaconda, which is a day treatment program. So really it's an agency that's been willing to do whatever it can to reach people who have mental illness or intellectual delays and put programming for them in the community rather than in institutions. The Lewis and Clark County Child Advocacy Center is one of their programs, but it's here just in Helena. And what it is where our community team members who investigate child crimes come together and they coordinate their investigations. So when families come to the Child Advocacy Center, children receive forensically sound interviews in a child-friendly setting. And the Helena Police Department or the deputies from Lewis and Clark County, Sheriff's Department and Child Protection are watching so that they don't have to do those interviews as well. Also, by coming to the Child Advocacy Center, we're able to link them to specialized medical care related to possibly sexual abuse and link them also with mental health providers that are trained specifically in trauma.
And so one of the reasons that we brought you on this month was because April is Child Abuse Prevention Month. So actually in March we had some folks on from the Early Childhood Coalition of the Greater Helena area talking about resources for parents. Later this month we're having Dennis Molnar. He's with CASA, Broadwater, and Lewis and Clark County, so another organization advocating for kids that have been abused and neglected. So the organization that you work for, the Child Advocacy Center, plays a huge part in abuse prevention here in our community. And so how many kids do you see generally, annually or every month, that come through the center?
Sure, we've seen an increase since about 2010 from 100 to up to about 169 kids we saw last year in 2014. And I actually see that as a good thing in the sense that we know that 1 in 4 girls, 1 in 6 boys are getting sexually abused before they're 18 years old, regardless of what community they come from or socioeconomic status they have. But not all those kids are reporting. Not all those families are following through once they report. And so by those numbers going up, it tells me that the Helena community is reporting more, that maybe that they're feeling like their concerns are being listened to, that maybe actions are being taken when they have concerns either legally or through child protection. And so I see that as a positive thing, and one of the ways that we can prevent child abuse is by encouraging people to report and to believe children when they do come to them and share that they were abused.
So it's not necessarily an increase in abuse in our community, it's an increase in awareness among our community members.
I absolutely think so, yeah.
And so you mentioned Lewis and Clark County and Helena, but what geographic area do you serve? Do you serve any of our neighboring communities or counties?
We are willing to help any community that needs it. So Broadwater County, we do see a lot of children from there, and also Jefferson County. Our Child Protection Office here in Helena serves those counties, so that makes it very convenient for them. However, there are kids that come to Chaude or Intermountain in their residential facility, or children that move here from other locations, but the crime may have happened in other places. And so if those kids make an outcry here, then we go ahead and do those interviews for law enforcement in other areas in hopes that offenders can be held responsible back where they live. And
so you mentioned the team. How many employees are there at the center, and what folks do you partner with in this area?
Yeah, it's kind of an odd situation because I'm the only employee of the center, but there's no center without the team. And we have a really terrific team here in Helena that I'm really proud of. The Sheriff's Department is on our team and has been very supportive, as well as the Helena Police Department, the County Attorney's Office. Then we have juvenile probation, who's been active as well. Child protection is on our team. And then we have a couple doctor's offices, the Helena Pediatrics Clinic and the Partners in Pediatric Clinic, and they are all on our team. And so what you get is professionals from those places that are committing to being trained specifically about crimes against children, and really willing to come together and do what's best for families and children more than just for their own agencies, and seeing that as the greater good for the community.
All right, and do you work with other nonprofits in the area?
Well, we do end up partnering with other nonprofits such as, the Friendship Center. We have a similar mission in wanting to decrease sexual assaults and violence against women, and so we end up connecting with anybody that has that same mission. I also try to do trainings for other agencies as I'm able, because I think there's a lot of myths about sexual abuse against children, and by dispelling some of those myths, I think we can lower the incidence of sexual abuse in our community.
All right, and you mentioned the Friendship Center. So the Friendship Center is an awesome United Way partner agency. Their mission is to end sexual and domestic violence in our community, and they actually have a fundraiser coming up for all the viewers out there. It's their annual Empty Bowls fundraiser, and Melinda Reed, the executive director of the Friendship Center, was actually very ill today and unable to make it in. But that fundraiser will be April 7th at 4:30 out at the Lewis and Clark County Fairgrounds, and the website is up on the screen, and so tickets are $25. It's a great event to go out and support the Friendship Center and their mission. And you get to take away an awesome bowl made by community members, so it's definitely a great fundraiser to get involved with. So do you have anything else you want to share? Can people get involved? Do you guys fundraise in the community? Do you seek volunteers?
Unfortunately, we can't seek volunteers. There's a lot of confidentiality around what we do. However, certainly we are a nonprofit, and we have a shoestring budget like most nonprofits do, so we do take donations. But also, like I said, if they have community groups that would like to have some training around the subject, I'm always happy to do that or link them up with somebody that would do that. I also do talk to parents sometimes just on the phone about concerns they're having with their kids. Sometimes they see some sexual acting out or some behaviors that are really concerning them, and I have some materials and ways to link them to professionals to really assess whether that's a concern or not.
All right, and so it looks like your website is on the screen as well, so I'm sure people can connect with you there.
Absolutely.
All right, is there anything else you want to share about the Child Advocacy Center before we wrap up today?
I just appreciate the opportunity to talk about it, because I think we really do have a dedicated group of professionals here in this county who have been working hard to keep children safe. And I think we're kind of a well-kept secret unless you need us, and then you're glad we're here. So I thank you for letting me come.
Yeah, thank you. It's very interesting information that you're sharing. And again, April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and so any way that we can get the word out about the amazing organizations in town that are working to end abuse is very important. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah.